Yes, my good people, welcome back to the channel. This is FPL of the day. I am Jay London, and in this video we are creating the ultimate wildcard guide for game week 29. Not only that, I'm going to be setting you up for the big blank in game week 30 as well. So you're going to have loads of double playing players for game week 29 and 11 playing players for game week 30 as well. Even if you're not using your wildcard, this is going to help with transfers, future plans, and all of that good stuff. All right, before we begin, before we go any further, I asked you to help me get to 500 subscribers in the last video. We have smashed that, so thank you so much. If you are new to the channel, please do subscribe, leave a little like, comment down below as well, because this still is a brand new YouTube channel. Once you've done that, let's dive straight in. The ultimate game week 29 wildcard guide. Boff. So as I mentioned, I could not start this video unless I thanked all of you for helping me on the last one. I cannot actually believe that we managed to hit 7,000 views so early on in my YouTube journey. So thank you so much. If you're one of those people that watched the last video, if you liked, if you commented, if you shared, if you subscribed, I appreciate you so much. Here are some of my favorite comments that was on the last video. Like, look at this, the love is just ridiculous. So thank you so much. Again, if you are new to the channel and you're just discovering this for the first time, please do subscribe. It really does help. And then let's just dive straight in. Here's what's coming up in the video. We're going to be building the best wildcard draft for game week 29. We're also going to be making sure that we're set up for game week 30. As I say, even if you're not using your wildcard, it's going to help with transfers and all of that stuff. And then at the end, I'm going to create like a nice little differential team as well. If you're feeling extra punty, some players that you might want to put in if you're feeling like you want to do something a little bit different from the rest of the crowd. Before any of that, as always, we need to have a look at the fixtures. Of course, how can we do a wildcard draft without having a look at the fixtures? My go-to, as you know, if you are familiar with the channel, is Lego Mane. It's just nice and easy on the eye for me. I like it. So yeah, having a look at the fixtures for game week 29, obviously we want to be targeting those doubles. So the teams that are going to be standing out are Liverpool. Arsenal's got a nice double fixture there, and they're going to be playing in game week 30 as well. Everton's going to be having a double, so have Brighton. And of course, the one that is a big favourite for a lot of people is Spurs. So yeah, no surprise here. There are going to be players from Spurs because they've got that double game week in 29 and they're playing in game week 30. There's going to be players from Arsenal because they've got that double in 29 and they're going to be playing in 30. And yeah, we might take a few Everton players along the way, maybe some Brighton ones. I don't think that's going to happen. Yeah, there's enough players to not have to target those teams. But yeah, soak this in. Make sure you've got it in your head, because as we're planning throughout the whole draft, we want to be making sure that we're hitting those 29 doubles, and we're making sure we've got enough players for blank game week 39 as well. Let's pick some players. Let's go. Disclaimer, as always, I am doing this before the end of game week 28. So of course, if there are any injuries or postponements, or a team concedes like 20 goals in that fixture, then obviously that makes that person void. Do not put them in your team. But as it stands, this is going to be the best wildcard draft for your team. All right. Starting in goal, there's only one place to go really, unless you want to go with an Everton keeper, which I'm really just not confident about. It's got to be Ramsdale. Those fixtures against Leicester and Liverpool are dangerous. Don't get me wrong, yeah? Leicester are really bad at defending, we've seen, but they are quite good at going forward. So there's nothing to suggest that they might not score a goal here. And of course, Liverpool, we know what Liverpool can do, right? But because of that fixture in game week 30, we want to make sure that we've got a playing keeper, and Arsenal, of course, do have that double. So Ramsdale's going to be the person between the sticks. Even if Leicester and Liverpool are firing shots at him left, right and centre, that does mean he has got a chance of picking up some nice save points as well. So yeah, not much more to debate here, not much more to discuss. If you do feel more confident with a single game week playing keeper, then fair enough. If you do want to put someone like Pickford in, or you fancy Dubravka, then you can go with that as well. But for me, it's going to be Ramsdale. Tick. Done. Let's move on to the defence. No surprise that Alexander-Arnold is in there. If you're making a wildcard draft and you haven't got Alexander-Arnold in your defence, I don't know what you're doing. Even if you haven't had him for the season, this is your opportunity now to get him in there. I'm pretty certain everybody watching this video already has him in there. Otherwise, you wouldn't be watching this video, because you wouldn't be taking FPL seriously. And if you take it seriously, you've got Alexander-Arnold. No more needs to be said about him. White is the Arsenal defender that I've gone for because he's nice and cheap. And I do suspect that he's going to be playing both of those fixtures. Again, Leicester and Liverpool can do damage, but we're really trying to attack those double game week players in 29 and making sure that we've got a fixture for our players in game week 30 as well. Matip alongside him, because he enables us to do what we're doing for the rest of the team. He's nice and cheap. Of course, I would prefer somebody like Robinson, but we can't stretch to Robinson. There's only so much money in the bank, guys. Come on. So Matip's got to be in there. There's nothing to suggest that Liverpool can't keep a clean sheet against Brighton and Arsenal. He's nice and cheap. He goes in the team. And next to him is Luca Dean. A nice little fixture there against West Ham. Who knows what could happen? He could be on some attacking returns. Yes, someone like Rudiger would be nicer. Cancelo would be nicer. John Stones would be nice now that Diaz is out. But Luca Dean has got that fixture in game week 30. I like the look of him. He's nice and attacking for a defender. So he gets his place in the ultimate wildcard draft for game week 29. Shall we look at midfield? Let's look at midfield. Boom! I don't need to talk about Salah. Salah has to be in your team. For a lot of people, he's either going to be captain or some people are going to be triple captaining him. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be putting the captain armband on my Salah in my team for Brighton and Arsenal. If you're going to be triple captaining him as well, then yeah, good luck there. I've already used it and he's done a great job. Big up to Salah. But either way, he has to be in the team, right? Next to him is Martinelli. Again, we're focusing on those Arsenal fixtures in game week 29 and 30 because they've got 3. Leicester, Liverpool, and then they've got a nice little fixture in game week 32, which we'll come on to in just a bit. So yeah, I would actually prefer to have someone like Saka. But Martinelli is A, nice and cheap. B, he allows us to have the person next to him, which I'm going to talk about in just a sec. And yeah, there's nothing to suggest that he can't do something in those 3 games. Last but not least, in the 3-man midfield is Son. Really do like the look of him, especially for this double game week against Man United and Brighton. Again, not the easiest fixtures if we're talking about Brighton's defence, because we do know, like, in the past, they can do a pretty good job there. Man United have looked a little bit leaky this season, so I'm expecting if there is a goal, it's going to come from Son or he's going to be involved. Son, Martinelli, Salah, they make up the midfield. The defence is looking nice because we've covered game week 29 and we're covering game week 30 with Luca Dean and players like White. And then we've got our keeper in Ramsdale. Shall we look at some forwards? Let's look at some forwards. Boom. I'm going to talk straight away about the man in the middle. We have got a wildcard draft, ladies and gentlemen, with Son, Salah, Alexander-Arnold and Harry Kane. You could do the maths. I'm telling you, it is affordable. This can happen. Harry Kane, the reason that he needs to be in the team is the same as Son. Double game week in 29, and then he's playing in the blank in 30. There are only 4 teams that are going to be playing in 30, so we need to be making sure that we've got the best striker out of those 4, which is going to be Kane, right? We've also got Broja in there, who's playing Watford. We know how Watford have been at the back, so I am quite excited to have him in there. Again, nice and cheap, so he does allow us to do things like have Kane, Salah and Son in the team. It's very interesting because, of course, Jimenez was rested in game week 27. Hwang seems to be getting some more game time. Of course, there are other options there, but like I've said throughout the whole of the video, we are making sure that we're targeting game week 30 as well. So Hwang's in the team, so is Broja. Kane nice and solid there in the middle. Salah, Martinelli, Son. The defence is looking nice. Ramsdale in goal. The bench is looking pretty strong as well. So Foster's going to be our enabler. We know that. He's just there because he's nice and cheap. And also, we're hoping that Watford might have some more doubles to rearrange. So he's nice and cheap and he plays football. The one that I'm excited about on the bench here is Maddison. Because we know that Maddison is going to be very involved in Leicester. He's had a little bit of a rest of late. They have also got some double game weeks to rearrange as well. So if we're looking past game week 30 to like 31 and 32, Maddison's going to be a great option to have in the team. He could even start if you fancy him over like Broja or Luca Dean. The only reason I haven't put him in there is obviously because Ramsdale's in goal and we've got White. So I'm going to be favouring the Arsenal defence over Leicester. But yeah, there's nothing to say that Maddison can't start that game. Like if you want to put him in the team, he's there and he's there to be used. Kilman, same pretty much goes for him. A nice cheap Wolves defender who I've liked the look of throughout the whole of the season. Like Wolves have been good. Of late, they've not been that great in keeping some clean sheets in the last few games. But that fixture against Everton, who knows what could happen there. And it's nice because he obviously plays in game week 32. And so does Ramsey. For me, this is looking very strong going into game week 29 and into game week 30, which we're going to have a look at now. So if you don't know about this already, you're going to be thanking me by the end of the video. Big shout out to FPL.team. It has been a godsend for me the whole of this season, all right? It allows you to basically go in, put in your team ID, and then plan as far ahead as you want to plan, putting in players, taking them out, swapping them out, and obviously it doesn't affect your actual FPL team as well. So make sure you jump on that if you want to be looking at future transfers and how your team's going to look later on down the line. So yeah, having a look at game week 30, We are nice. We are set up. We have Ramsdale in goal. We've got White, Kilman and Luca Dean in defence. Son, Martinelli, Maddison, which I really do like that fixture against Brentford as well. Ramsey's in there as well. So is Kane. So is Hwang. The bench is ready for game week 31. So looking at that, we're only missing one spot. I did promise you at the start of the video we'd have 11. It's nice and easy. Very simple, guys. Matip comes out and you put him in for another double game week player. You could go with another Wolves defender. You could put in someone else from Aston Villa. We've got 0.7 in the bank. So yeah, you could put in Doherty. You can do whatever you want. Literally, the choice is yours. You can take out Matip for whatever defender you want, or you could just play with 10. Maybe put in a Chelsea defender, because I know at the end of I know people are going to be watching this going, where's all the Chelsea players? But obviously it makes sense because we're actually setting our team up for 29 and for 30. But this could be the point where we do put in some Chelsea boys because we're going to want them for the rest of the season. So maybe you take out Matip and you try and get in Rudiger. You've got enough money in the bank there, I hope, with 0.7 and depending on what your team value set up with. And if you haven't, just go down to Thiago Silva or James or whoever else you fancy. But that does allow you to have 11 game week players for blank game week 30. Loads of people are going to be free hitting. Loads of people are going to be maybe activating their wild card because they're panicking and they actually need to be getting some players. But if you've started in 29 and you've set yourself up for 30, that is so stress free. You could even just save the transfer and then save it for game week 31. But you might not need to do that because if we look even further ahead, look at game week 31. There's nothing wrong with this team. Ramsdale against Crystal Palace. Matip is still in there because we haven't taken him out, hypothetically speaking. He's got a fixture against Watford. White is still in there, Crystal Palace. Luca Dean's playing Wolves. That could be a 0-0. Alexander-Arnold obviously comes back into the team. Kane and Son continue to thrive. Look at that, a fixture against Newcastle. That's definitely something that people are going to be trying to get to, even if they're not on their wild card. Maybe they're using their free hit in 31. I don't know. Martinelli could easily come out if you want to put in someone like Hwang or Kilman who's on the bench. Salah's obviously in there. Maddison's playing Man United. We've got Broja as well against Leeds. And we've also got a transfer. So again, it's up to you. You could be taking out maybe Matip and putting in one of the Chelsea boys. You can maybe be swapping out one of the midfielders and putting in one of the Chelsea boys. It's literally up to you. But the wild card in 29 has obviously set us up to allow us to do this. Let's not stop there. Let's have a look at one more week. Let's have a look at game week 32 if you're not convinced yet. Game week 32 now looks like this. Ramsdale's going to be playing Brighton, and again, now is a chance that you can actually be using a transfer if you've managed to save one. Like, you could be taking out someone like Martinelli or Hwang could just come into the team because he's playing Newcastle. There are so many options because of the way that we set ourselves up, obviously providing there's no injuries and things like that in game week 29. So yeah, as it stands, having a look back at the team, I do want some Chelsea players. I do want Cancelo, but we need to be making sure that we're covering game week 29 and we're covering game week 30 as well. And I've played around with it quite a bit. This is the only squad that I feel allows us to do that with some nice strong options going past game week 30. So there you go. Let me know down in the comments what you think about this. I know loads of people are going to be screaming for Chelsea players, but I've just explained that. If you do feel like doing something completely out of the box and you want some differentials, then I've got you covered as well. Shout out to Courtney on Twitter who asked for some differentials, who asked for a differential team. I've left in Mohamed Salah and Alexander-Arnold because, come on, it'd be criminal to not have those two boys in there. But then the rest of the team is looking very punty. So I did say about Pickford, he could be an option. If you do want to go down that road, he could be an option. Wolves and Newcastle, there's nothing to say that Everton might not keep a clean sheet there, right? I wouldn't trust it, but yeah, if you're feeling really juicy, you're feeling excited, you're feeling like taking the gamble, Robinson is a nice punt because like you saw in the draft, a lot of people might not be able to get to him. So to have him for game week 29 against Brighton and Arsenal, I like that. There's definitely a clean sheet in one of those games, right? We hope so. Coleman's probably the most exciting Everton defender that we could go for. Everton fans, do let me know down in the comments, of course, if you do feel like somebody is stronger. But yeah, again, those fixtures against Wolves and Newcastle, something could happen there. I doubt very much that anyone's going to have Coleman in their team. So if you do want a nice differential and you are feeling punty, you could go for Coleman. Kulusevski's looking really nice as well. Again, that Tottenham midfield is most likely going to be packed with like players like Son. Kane's going to be up front in most teams. So yeah, if you go for someone like him, who knows? He seems to be first choice over Lucas Moura as well. Man United, as we said earlier on in the video, are nice and leaky at the moment. If you're not a Man United fan, that's nice and leaky. And I know a lot of people have gone for Willock. So yeah, there's nothing to suggest that he might not do some returns there. Some people are talking about Fraser. One that I do actually like from Arsenal is Ødegaard. Now, he's gone under the radar a little bit because of people like Smith Rowe and Martinelli, but Ødegaard has been actually racking up some points in the last sort of game week. So again, if you are feeling punty, nothing wrong with that. And then we round off up front with Richarlison and Chris Wood. And then Rodrigo. Nice little shout out to Rodrigo as well. A nice cheap striker playing against Norwich if you want to go for a single game week. So I don't expect anybody's team to be looking like this unless you're absolutely insane and you just love playing FPL and going for a gamble. Maybe you've got 2 FPL teams. As I say, if you are feeling like taking a bit of a risk, then why not? Why not go for someone like Dubravka? So there we go. There we have it. That is the ultimate wildcard draft for game week 29 and the big blank in game week 30. If you don't agree with me, let me know down below. Leave a comment. Let me know what you're thinking about your wildcard draft if you're pressing the button. Even if you're not and you're thinking about some of these guys as transfers, then let me know down in the comments below. As always, a big thank you to everybody who has liked, commented and subscribed. If you are new to the channel, please do hit that subscribe button. You are helping the channel massively. This is still a brand new YouTube channel and I need all the help that I can get. I am on the road to 1,000 for the end of the season. Please, please, please trying to get there. Hopefully I'll see you on the next one and good luck, all right? Peace.